Hey, it's Valtownheart once again with the Has-Been Heroes Boss Tips video going into the second boss of Area 5, the Ghost Dad. No, really. His official name is the Ghost Dad. And there is a few reasons why he is the Ghost Dad. For starters, yes, as expected, it says it right in the name. He is a ghost type. So you have to soak him, burn him, or poison him just to hit him with melee attacks. Unlike the Spirit Crusher of Tier 4, he actually loses stamina and will get broken out of stun when you damage him. But also, unlike the Spirit Crusher, he will lose his stamina when you actually break him out of stun. So that is something to keep in mind. He does not lane swap, but he is somewhat fast. But the real danger is he's not an advocate of child abuse. If you hit any of his little kid skeletons, he gets angry and moves faster. So, yeah, just a reminder, child abuse is bad. But you can handle his speed boost with hitting him with fire and then water and causing steam to erupt, so that way you can keep him in check. Now, he has two spell abilities of his own, and they're both hinted off the exact same way. The first spell is this Puddle Corruption ability. If you use any water spells and, for example, like you hit him with Riptide, you make a puddle and you're going to use it to slow him down with steam. If you let him cast this Puddle Corruption ability on top of a puddle, it can do one of two things. One thing it can do is turn the puddle into a poison puddle. And if you cut through it with your lane swaps, it will actually poison your characters if they are not soaked or have the appropriate pill to cut off the ability. The other kind of corruption he can do is turn the puddle into lava. And this, as expected, will cause burning if you go rushing through it without the proper immunities. But overall, it's kind of an odd, negligible ability, but the danger is still there of what it can do. Now, his other ability that he can cast is a Thunderbolt spell. When he swings his arm down, it's the exact same tail with that purple glow in his hand, but this huge lightning bolt just comes smacking down in your group and explodes for AoE damage. And it, if I recall right, it does cause burning for a short period of time, and it does pretty considerable damage, so that is one thing you do have to look out for. Now, as I said, Ghost Dad is not an advocate of child abuse, and his ads are exactly that. They're his kids, and they take the form of these little tiny healer skeletons, and they're casters with quite a quick casting time, and the casting time is about a second and a half, and if they do get off, it heals 200 hit points to the Ghost Dad. And he has 7,200 hit points, and just by, getting 200 hit points back, it's just going to make the fight a little bit longer. I mean, sure, it's one single hit from most of your tanks, but even then, a longer fight is a more annoying fight. And a longer fight means you can have more mistakes happen, and you definitely don't want that. Now, the other thing about his kids is when you kill them, they turn into ghosts just like Ghost Dad. And like any ghost, you have to inflict status effects on them just to hit them with melee. You have to put them on fire, you gotta soak them, or poison them just to damage them. But overall, they do die fast when they're ghosts. Plus, when they do become ghosts, they don't have any stamina whatsoever. Plus, when they are ghosts, they do not have any abilities. They just become pretty much meat shields that just slowly go down their lanes. And if they happen to be in the center lane, they can get in the way of an attack going into Ghostad. But that's really all there is to the fight. It's really not that hard, especially when compared to the other boss of Area 5, Baa-Baa Ben-Dum, particularly because of the whole Antipodean horror form. Because there's really no surprises to this, and aside from having to constantly afflict status effects to do damage to them, there really isn't that much difficulty to the fight. And as long as you just keep a calm mind, and if you don't mind, you know, beating up his kids, it's really not that hard of a fight. But yeah, overall, Ghostad it's a fun fight. It's unique, and it's one of the few rare fights where, actually it's the only fight in which the boss can heal itself. Like, you have the Zombie Master that heals his zombies, but Ghostad gets healed by his ads. But other than that, that's pretty much all there is to Ghostad. Just keep them under status effects. If you have immunities to deal with the status effects that you're throwing on them that aren't soaked, it makes the fight a lot easier. And with that, the boss fight's pretty much cake. So the next video, we are moving on to the final boss of Run 5, which is, of course, another ghoul. And that ghoul is the Toxic Ghoul. And I gotta warn you, you thought you liked zombies with a Zombie Master? Well, I hope you like zombies here. See you then.